Gonna recess the solid waste. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I will second. Roll call in.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes. Okay, we have some journal entries. Do you want to talk about any of these, Bill, before we just pass them? Okay, do I have a motion to pass the journal entries?
We should do them one by one, right?
Yes, because it's not a consent agenda.
Okay. So, is that right, Amy?
Oh, no, we want to do one motion to do all four, right? Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move to approve the journal entries for June 20th, 2019.
And I will second. Roll call in.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Yes. Roll. We did the roll call. Had a heck of a morning this morning. Okay.
It's called second cup of coffee.
No, my dog's not feeling well.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Uh,
I get it.
Okay, Bill.
Okay, discussion items, Brimfield curbside. It's my understanding Brimfield Township is going to send out an RFP for subscription-only service, which means instead of mandatory everybody participates, you can sign up whether you want it or not. That's not something we do. So my thought is to send them a letter saying we're willing to continue to provide service. However, we'd like to at least have one more meeting to see if we could not rectify this situation. But if they're definitely going to a subscription service, our contract is over December 31st, 2019, which then means starting the first week in January, we have to make arrangements to pick up probably 3,700 cartons. Not a good time to be picking up cartons. The weather's not friendly. It's our high volume time of the year. So I'm just asking the board, my thought is that if they're definitely going to not continue the contract with us, we ask them if we can end it early, like October, because I'll have to make arrangements to get those carts picked up. I do not have the staff. We're gonna have to bring in probably the same type of crew that put them out, and then just not charge the residents for the service, because you know, when we get into the Christmas season, we're focused on picking up the material and cart. And I can tell you, I think most of the companies that deliver carts are from down south, and they would rather work when roads are dry or wet from rain than snow. It was not a good time for them when they put the carts out like in Kent, because we had that much snow on the ground. They learned that we do have that white fluffy stuff here in the winter, and it's difficult to drive through. So,
Bill, are they thinking they're saving money? Is that the whole impetus
you know,
behind this?
I think it's just a matter of you've got one person who thinks that everybody should have a choice, and that's what you have a trash person for. So it's kind of a divided board.
Okay.
One trustee wants to continue the program, one I have not heard from, and one wants to push this subscription plan through. But if they do that, I'm gonna have to really think serious about closing our drop-off outside of our building, because it will just get overwhelmed.
Sure.
So, you know, it's just a thought. I don't need a decision today, but I'm just letting the board know what I'm doing, because before I know it, October's gonna be here.
Do you think they will receive a bid from a subscription-only service? Because I don't even.
You know, I'll be honest with you, Kathleen, I can't see anybody bidding on it, because the only time you might get that is if they would tie the trash in with it. But I can tell you, Waste Republic and Rumpke have said they're not gonna bid on it. That only leaves one other company, and considering that I think about a week ago they got caught mixing trash and recyclables for it, they're gonna be hard pressed to take on any more business. So I'm not sure.
Okay. And subscription only, is that?
It's just, in other words, like.
No, but I mean, is that a model that?
It's not a business model that we get into, because we've tried it somewhere else, and you literally have the truck crisscrossing,
Oh, yeah.
and
No,
it's
but I don't
just.
mean just you, is that a
You know,
typical business model?
I would have to check. Lately, I've been just seeing, you know, trash and recycling, but now, most of the contracts are starting to separate it out, because people wanna see what the cost is for both services. It used to be just give us one price for both, but now, I know in Cuyahoga County, a lot of the communities are redoing contracts and they want to see that broken out. Yeah, I'll stay on top of it just to see how it transpires. I'll just stay in touch with a couple colleagues up in Cuyahoga County. Tire collection events are thankfully over for the year. As you know, I try to attend all of them, even on the ones where we have 5 and 4 on one day. So I crisscross the county and try to watch. But once we have all the tires out of our facility and out of our roll-offs, I'm going to come back with a 4-year, what we've paid. It's rather substantial, the cost increase to us. Our average cost of disposal last year was $195 a ton. When I started this, it was $65. So we may have to make some swings at changing. These are some pictures of what.
I think we've got those.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, you've got them?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Is this just 1 year's worth of tires?
Yeah, and we've actually taken some tires away. It's just that, you know, like everywhere else, the processors, you know, they're under the watch of the Ohio EPA. They have certain regulations that they have to adhere to, and they have to have tires off the ground by a certain time. And I think the local processor just gets overwhelmed. I mean, last year we did 255 tons of tires, and that's a big influx of tires within about a 2.5 month period.
So Bill, when I get new tires and they take the old tires off, eventually they get to one of these places?
No, most tire shops will have, there's licensed tire haulers that will come around and pick up their tires for a
Okay.
fee, and then they'll take them, I would have to say probably to like a Liberty, because they're the biggest company in the area down in Minerva. There's some smaller companies that will take them, but Liberty is really set up to handle the large volume. But it's this situation right here that I'm trying to avoid, because I was actually standing there when this rolled in, and they weren't very happy with me, but I told them, you do understand you're violating the law unless you can show me a licensed tire hauler permit. And I said, we can only take 10, and I asked him, where's this from? And the guy reply was around, and I said, that's the wrong answer, because
Do they just go around and pick up tires?
you know, I think there is a certain group of people that will say, hey, I'll get rid of your tires for $1 a piece, and
Oh,
then we get them.
I thought there had to be
Yeah.
money involved
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, exactly. And so, you know, that, and, you know, we have some places that are unsecure at night, so it's not uncommon for me to get a phone call right at 8 o'clock in the morning, hey, Bill, we have a container filled overnight. So I think what I want to do is I want to get all the facts and figures, what the cost is, what the tonnage is, and look at the projections. But I think, you know, we're going to have to make some changes. I'm actually going to a collection event that Mahoning County does. They do 3 collection events, and the one I'm going to is July 13th over at the fairgrounds. And they actually bring a company in to do that. Now, there's some things that they do that I'm not wild about entertaining. I'm just going over for informational reasons. But they actually charge for, you know, certain tires. So, but I've kind of looked around the counties that surround us, and that will be part of my presentation, because my feeling is we give this, our current program, 1 more year and say, we've got to do this. We have to do this to keep the program vibrant. If not, this is the alternative. We take it away from the communities. We just hold 3 events like Mahoning County does, and then we can police it better, but we may not get all the tires. People may not be motivated to drive to do tires. But, you know, that's just something I've observed, you know. And the other thing is, I have 2 trucks that are roll-offs, and one of them is truck 1391, and I think I'm going to be declared obsolete. It's old, it's tired. We only use it 2 weeks out of the year, and that's when we have the large number of events. But I personally think it's time to take it off the road. But we have another one that's a 2014 model that's in what we got it new. But we still at a certain period of time need 2 trucks, and that's something I'm having to discuss with these townships, saying I can't justify running the truck for $2,000 for a 2-week period. It makes no sense. It's not a good business model. So the next item is the contamination policy. Chris McGurry and I have kind of wrapped up draft. I will bring that back in draft form next week, just for you to review moving forward. That contamination policy plays into the grant that we just received from the Ohio EPA for outreach and awareness. We're going to, part of the contamination policy I want to bring back is, we just had our composition analysis done by Waste Management, and there were some eye openers. While our cost went down, our glass shot up 5%, our cardboard dropped, which I still can't figure out why, because I asked my drivers, they're picking up plenty of cardboard, let's say Amazon Prime on the side.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, our contamination went up. So I met with a record courier yesterday who's gonna help us get the message out about contamination. I told the representative it needs to be stretched out over a year's period of time, sort of like a continual type thing. And so she's gonna put together a presentation. I'll bring it to the board to show that, you know, this is what we're gonna try to do. But part of the message is glass is an acceptable item, but as the glass numbers continue to go up, we may have to adjust the service fees as well, because it is a negative. And so I did a comparison of the last composition analysis and this one. But our tonnage for that month, which was May, was 1,155 tons, which is probably about 200 tons more than the previous one. So we're collecting more material, but we just need to help clean it up, that's all. So.
I had a question.
Sure.
On a separate issue. Can you talk a little bit about your policy decision on the county electronics and shredding? 'Cause I've heard some blowback about people unhappy with.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm down 5 drivers and 2 mechanics. I have no mechanics right now. They're both out on injuries. I'm using Larry to go out and deliver carts. When I counted them on Monday, I have 77 carts that need to be delivered. Myself, I have run the front end loader, I've loaded a semi truck, I'm delivering carts. I'm doing a little bit of everything.
So it's a staffing issue?
It's a
for you?
staffing issue, yes. And I can tell you our shredder is old, tired, it needs new knives, and the last time I priced it was $10,000. It's probably more like $12,000 right now. People have to understand we'll try to bring it back, but it's also a free service that right now I've got to focus the labor to do other things. And as a matter of fact, when I get back to the office, I'm going to change clothes, and Larry and I are going to head out and deliver more carts. So.
You just need to learn to fix those trucks.
Yeah, well, that's probably the next thing. I'll probably be turning a wrench.
So, Bill, what was the service, so you would pick up shredding for county
Yeah.
offices before?
Yeah, and, you know, I don't mind doing that, but I just don't have the people to do it right now. It's just, we just don't have the people at all. And that's just something, when I look at it from a standpoint of the shredder, it's old, it's tired, it's not very efficient. I do have my eye on the used one. It literally can take 350 sheets at a time. The one we have, you kind of have to be like a Las Vegas dealer and feather it in there. And it's just a matter of using Larry's time more efficiently, because it takes him probably a good half hour to 45 minutes to get through one of the 95s. But with this other machine, he can just dump and go, which would give him more time to help deliver carts and things like that.
Was it a big volume? There's now talk of contracting that out, so I'm kind of interested in seeing if we can figure out a solution. I also don't know how much we're talking.
Yeah, I think we normally ship out 2 semi-loads a year, which is 40,000 pounds each, so it's about 80,000 pounds, but that also encompasses what we have from the county offices and then the people that walk in too. And sometimes, you know, we've been trying to tell agencies, if you're coming over, let us know, because I had one agency show up with literally a trailer of boxes, and I just asked them, I said, you know, what, next time, just call us and let us know, because then that way we can be prepared on our end. You know, and when Todd gets back and gets his feet on the ground, I've watched this unit that I have my eye on. It's been sitting there for about a year and a half, and I might just, if I can, slide in and say, hey, it's been sitting here, I'll offer you X, Y, Z for it, and efficiency, but it's, the bottom line is, I explained to everybody, it's a staffing issue.
So you're still taking the shredding and the electronics, you're just not picking them up?
Well, we're not picking them up, and we're really not trying to get it, you know, we'll do it if Larry's there, but right now, like yesterday, Larry delivered carts most of the day, because we're that far behind, because then if we don't deliver the carts, then our phones ring off the hook, and the next thing you know, they're gonna start ringing up here. And we've tried to explain people, you know, we're shy people, but that's why, you know, if I can't get any of the drivers to do it on Saturday because they're tired, I may come in and deliver carts on Saturday, just to get it done.
Okay, it was my understanding you weren't taking it, but you are
I
taking
mean, little by little, but we can't handle the
Yeah,
volume from the
yeah.
county offices. I'd like to correct the problem, that's a goal, but right now I kind of got to get out of this labor issue. And hopefully, you know, I told everybody, give me till at least September. That's all that I ask. I've got to get through the summer, because with the people that we're hiring, they won't really, our policy is, once you start, we don't put you in a truck by yourself for 30 days. And when I got there, it was 2 days, and here's a map, and here's your keys, and good luck. I operate much differently, and we're talking internally how we're even gonna kind of tweak the system a little bit better to get these people more training, to make them more versatile. And we've kind of got everybody slotted where we think they're gonna go. But I can tell you, I'm very proud of the team over there. They have dug in. Their attitudes have been phenomenal. They see me stay late every night with them, and they know help's on the way. But it's gonna be a long summer. These guys will not be in a truck by themselves till August 8th. So that's about the earliest. Now, beyond that, we still wanna keep training and do some other things. So that's why we've got a time period here where we can hopefully outthink this, and not only get them to learn a truck, but like the commercial driver, we want him to learn all the commercial routes. I like a lot of interchangeable pieces. The more you know, the more valuable you are to me. So we're even thinking with one driver sending them up north, letting that driver see all the different routes up there, and then doing the same thing with the south. But we've got to get them out into their truck, and what we might do is we might switch up. You know, you take route A, you take route B. And then that way, the more senior driver is there to help them and say, you know, they'll take a map and say, this is the way I run it, this is the most efficient. If you need me, call me on the radio, I'm more than happy to help. The team over there wants these people to be successful. They're all pumped up about their arrival, and they're looking forward to it. So especially the big thing for us was we found a gentleman that will dump the trucks at night for us. That is huge for us, because in the morning, the guys will have to go over to Akron and dump, from Akron to Aurora or Hiram. And they see the need for that position. And fortunately, our last interview wanted that position. So it was a good week for us last week.
Good.
That's all.
Do you still need an executive
I
session?
do. Personnel.
Is it about personnel?
Personnel, yes.
May I ask Mr. Steiner a question?
Sure.
Occasionally, some group or bank or someplace at Kent State or other places will have a day when they'll collect electronics and do some shredding.
Mhm.
Do those materials ultimately go to Portage County, or do they go somewhere else?
They go somewhere else.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Generally, if you see someone that's going to have like a shredding event, they'll hire somebody like a shredder or somebody that
Yeah.
actually does it on site. And the electronics could go pretty much anywhere.
Thanks for your answer.
You're welcome.
So I'll move to go into executive session for G1 to consider the compensation of a public employee. Compensation, right, Bill? No, it isn't?
Discipline. Discuss discipline.
What is it, Janet?
That's
That's a different
G1.
issue than what I'm thinking.
Employ,
Must be
which
different.
thing under
It's still
G1?
G1, just discipline.
Discipline?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll move to go into executive session to consider the discipline of a public employee.
I'll second. Roll call aim?
Kathleen?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.